Welcome back on the channel, my friends. In this video, we're going to talk about crypto OpSec, the foundation you actually need. And let me tell you, this video is not about putting a tinfoil hat and getting paranoid. It's just about having common sense applied properly. We are going to keep things simple because you don't actually need to be Edward Snowden. You just need to stop being an easy target. You see, most people lose crypto not because some elite hacker targeted them specifically. They lose it because they skipped the basics. This is the stuff that, once set up, runs quietly in the background and lets you sleep at night. But remember, this is a foundation, it's a practice. Don't slip on it because this is not a set it and forget it type of thing. So let's build your security stack from the ground up. So let me give you a quick rundown of what we are covering on the video. Number one, the wallet layer. This is your foundation, definitely. If you get this wrong, nothing else matters. You're compromised at the most basic level. Next one, it's the browser layer. Your browser is where most of the interaction with crypto protocols happens, and where most of the leaking happens too. We're going to address that. Next layer is the VPN. We're going to cover it as well because most people might think VPN makes you anonymous. It doesn't. Next up on the list, the email and identity layer. This is the piece people overlook. Myself, I also used to overlook this a lot, and your email is actually the skeleton key to most of your online identity. We need to address that. Next up, layer 5, the device, and this is any device you might use to interact with your crypto stack. Your phone and computer are definitely nowadays everyone's operational devices, so they need attention too. Sixth layer, the transaction layer, how you actually move and interact with crypto matters for both security and privacy. So of course we are also going to address that. And number 7, the layer of social engineering. Nowadays probably this is the biggest attack vector. You see, most hackers or attempts of hacking nowadays no longer happen at the core level of trying to breach through protocols, finding bugs to exploit. Although that still happens, it's easier to get access to a social media account of a protocol, which is trusted by most of its followers, and then they can use that to send a massive phishing operation. Definitely there will be a ton of people biting the bait. You don't want to be one of those. All right, let's get things started. Address the wallet layer. There's two types of wallets that we can generally divide our crypto wallets into: hot wallets and cold wallets. Hot ones are connected to the internet, they're convenient, and they are higher risk. On the other end, there will be cold wallets, offline, less convenient, dramatically safer for storage. The action plan is as follows. For everyday use, small amounts, DeFi, minting, swapping tokens, use MetaMask, Rabi, or Phantom depending on the chains you operate on. In this video we're keeping things simple, and I'm talking about wallets that are broadly accepted and known by everyone. But if you want to go one step deeper, of course, use a privacy-oriented wallet. But I'll save that for another video where I will just address crypto anonymity on-chain and privacy, all of those things. Now, among all of these wallets that I mentioned, Rabi is my favorite because it simply shows a lot of information, including what a transaction will do before you sign it. So you know consciously, you are aware consciously of the consequences of signing a specific transaction. This is really useful. And also very important, never keep more in a hot wallet than you'd carry in your physical wallet on your daily life. That is a rule of thumb. If you're wondering how much should I carry in my hot wallet, because this is the riskier layer, use that as a rule of thumb. Now you gotta have a specific wallet also for storage. Consider these amounts that you would be genuinely upset to lose. You don't carry those in your daily wallet, right? So this is your storage wallet. For that, you'll have to get a hardware wallet, period. I recommend Trezor. I also like Tangem. You can have more than one, and that's going to be even better. If you want to stack your crypto in different wallets, I would highly advise you to do so. Regardless, start with one hardware wallet. It's that essential, period. Now, I did mention Trezor and Tangem. You might be wondering, what about Ledger? I don't consider Ledger to be safe at all. They had some shenanigans happening about their new recovery system model, so I do treat Ledger as compromised. I'm not saying they're not a safe company or anything, but the potential for breaching your seed phrase and your wallet is there since they introduced that novelty. Of course, they will have their own defense and they will say, we did that with the best interest of our users in mind and to help them if they lose the seed phrase and whatever. In my opinion, it's definitely a weak link still, and if you're having your life savings or substantial amounts of money stored on chain in your wallet, you don't want to rely on something that has a potential weak link, an attack vector that can pop up at some point in time. We want to eliminate that. For that reason, I don't advise you to go with Ledger, okay? Another solid option is the Keystone wallet. This one is air-gapped, meaning that it will never physically connect to your computer at all. Communication happens through QR codes only. I like that, it's a good move, so Keystone can also be on your list in my opinion. Now let's talk about the burner wallet strategy. This is something we can use to create separate wallets for separate activities. One wallet will be used for minting or trying new DeFi protocols. You know, if you're playing ROI dApp or a miner, something that might get drained, have a specific wallet just to interact with such protocols. Also have another wallet for your main DeFi activity, for your liquidity pools, for your staking, for your borrow and lending. If you use all three, it doesn't hurt to have a specific wallet for each DeFi activity. You just name that wallet staking wallet, or Ethereum staking, or Polygon staking, whatever you are staking, label that wallet that. The same thing for DeFi. For example, Uniswap LPs, PancakeSwap LPs, Orca LPs, the list goes on and on. It's a simple way you can identify your wallets and associate them with the DeFi protocols that you use the most. And of course, you will need to have one cold wallet for long-term storage. This is what we previously addressed when we spoke about hardware wallets. So the way we can think about this burner wallet strategy, think of each wallet like pockets. You don't put your life savings in the same pocket as the cash you use for your daily spending, right? So each wallet has its own utility, we just need to compartmentalize. Just have some basic organization, you know? Now, seed phrase rules. These are all non-negotiable. You will write down on paper or stamp it on metal. If you want to get Trezor Keep, I'll have the link down below which will allow you to do that. But never store it digitally. You know, nowadays there's a ton of malware, and if you have a picture or a notepad file in your computer with seed phrases, that malware can scan through your devices, potentially find that. You don't want to store it digitally because of that. Don't hold anything digitally, not even in your email drafts. So remember, nowhere digital ever. You have to store it instead in a physically secure location. If you want to get a little bit paranoid about it, a fireproof safe is ideal. A second copy at a trusted separate location is even better. Another rule to live by is never type your seed phrase into any website. There is no legitimate reason a website would ever need it. If something asks for it, it is trying to rob you. They're trying to scam you 100% of the time. So the last rule is also consider a metal backup, like I mentioned with Trezor Keep, because you know, paper burns, gets wet, it fades with time. Metal handles all of that. It's virtually indestructible. Alright, that's that about the wallet layer. Now about the browser layer, since this is where most of our interactions with crypto protocols happen, we need to have an action plan set in place. I do advise you to get a primary crypto browser. I use Brave personally. There are others. Some people might like Tor better. The thing about Tor is that it's really slow. Yes, it gets the job done, with a gold star even, but Brave is usable. For that reason, that's why I recommend it. It's also built on Chromium, so extensions do work, but strips out a lot of tracking by default. That's why I like it so much, because instead if you use Firefox, you'll have to harden it. You'll have to disable telemetry, use strict tracking protection, stuff like that. While Brave, you just have to start using it, and that's that. Now about extensions. You should install uBlock Origin. This is used to block ads, trackers, and malicious scripts. It's not optional. Go ahead, install it, it's free. Since this is our crypto browser, I would say do not install dozens of other extensions. Keep it to the crypto wallets you use, maybe some off-ramping protocol, but every extension is an attack surface, so we gotta keep it minimal. So here with the browser layer, we are applying the separation principle. And that means we will not use the same browser for crypto that we use for casual browsing, social media, or checking your regular email. At minimum, use a browser separation profile, but I would say the ideal is obviously use separate browsers altogether. You know, if you use your Google account to conveniently log into a number of social media applications, yeah, you can do that with Chrome, but do not mix your crypto usage with that browser. Remember, the baseline is you browse Twitter, Facebook, maybe Instagram, YouTube in one browser. You interact with DeFi, with crypto in another. These worlds should not mix, okay? And do make sure to bookmark your sites. You should never Google a DeFi protocol and click the first link. I've seen this happen multiple times. Phishing ads sit at the top of search results constantly. And if you're a beginner in the crypto world, there's going to be a lot of traps. So you gotta pay attention to that. Have some rules. Bookmark your trusted websites. If you bookmark the real URL the first time you verify it, you just then need to keep using that bookmark every time after. Moving on to layer 3, the VPN layer. It's important to note that a VPN does not make you anonymous. Let's just address that myth right now. What it does instead is encrypt your traffic from your device to the VPN server and mask your IP address from the sites and protocols you interact with. That still matters though. So this is the action plan for this layer. Choose a reputable no-logs VPN. You can use a bunch: Molvad, Proton, iVPN. Personally, I like Proton. That's the one I use. They have an amazing suite of products. They even have a free tier. And yeah, I am affiliated with them. I like their suite of products. I like their ecosystem. So if you want to go ahead and join that, I'll have a link down below. It helps to support the channel. But what you need to understand and avoid is free VPNs. If you're not paying, you're the product. You probably heard that about something else. It's true. Your trafficked data can be and will be monetized with free VPNs. Any VPN that also plasters something like military grade encryption across their homepage with a 90% discount countdown timer. You know, those things that drive FOMO into people, avoid those. You know exactly the ones I mean, right? How to use VPNs properly. You turn it on before you open your crypto browser, not after. Then you pick a server location that makes sense and stay consistent, because switching servers constantly can actually create more fingerprinting patterns. Another thing you must pay attention to is to have a kill switch on. If the VPN connection drops, your traffic should stop, not revert to your real IP without you noticing. Alright, this is a small detail, but a very important one. Now moving on to the next layer, the email and identity layer. This is the piece people overlook because your email is the skeleton key to most of your online identity. The action plan is as follows. Create a dedicated crypto email. I use Proton myself, you can use that as well, or something else. For example, there's Tutanota, nowadays called Tuta. This email is going to be used for exchange accounts, crypto services, and nothing else. It only should connect to your crypto activity. Don't use it to sign up for newsletters, forums, or anything social. Don't tie it to your real name. Alright, we want to make sure this email cannot be traced back to your ID. Now, this is the reality about exchanges and KYC. Centralized exchanges do require it. You have to comply with it. You have to undergo KYC. That's the legal reality. Understand that when you KYC, your identity is linked to that exchange and potentially to your on-chain activity. Use the principle of minimum exposure. Only KYC where you genuinely need to. Do not create accounts on 10 exchanges just in case. Now, when you withdraw from exchanges, do not send directly to your cold storage. Instead, you should send to an intermediate wallet first. This creates a break in the direct trail between your KYC'd identity and your storage address. Of course, ideally, you want to use a privacy wallet or something that obfuscates those transfers, something that makes it really hard to trace, because everything on chain can essentially be traced back to origin and destination wallets. So you have to understand that. But I don't want to go too much deep on this introductory video, so have that in mind at least you need to insert a break between your exchange and your cold storage wallet. Do not link them. And in this identity layer, you have to use username discipline. That means do not reuse your crypto Twitter handle as your exchange username, your Discord name, your wallet ENS, and your email prefix. This makes correlation trivial. We don't want that. We want to make things hard. We don't want points of connection, easy ones at least. So you should compartmentalize different identities for different contexts. Use plenty of aliases as you need. Now number 5, the device layer. Nowadays, mostly everyone uses their phone and computer as operational devices. All of them need attention to. If you use tablet, the same thing applies. So here is the action plan. Operating system hygiene. You gotta keep your OS updated. Those security patches do exist for a reason. Enable also full disk encryption. You can do this on Mac with File Vault, on Windows with BitLocker, or on Linux with Lux. And of course, this is most applicable for mobile devices, but make sure you use a screen lock and use a strong password or a biometric password. Now, specific phone security. Your phone is probably your weakest link since it has your email, your authenticator apps, your SMS, and possibly your hot wallet logged in. You gotta understand all of these risks, right? SIM swap attacks are real and common. You gotta call your carrier and set up a SIM lock protection pin. This takes you 5 minutes of effort that can save you a lot of headaches in the future. Better yet, move away from SMS-based 2FA entirely. Instead, for two-factor authentication, you should use an authenticator app, not SMS. If you are heavy on Google, you can use Google Authenticator. I don't advise you to keep on using Google services, but if you are already using them and you want to learn more about privacy and security, yeah, the easiest way would be using Google Authenticator, but there are others. There's a specific one for Android which is open source. This one is called Aegis, or if you are in iOS, go with anti-auth. For maximum security, use a YubiKey, which is a physical hardware 2FA. It's a small USB/NFC device, so this makes everything safer for you because someone would actually need to physically possess it to access your accounts. So you should also back up your 2FA recovery codes with the same seriousness as a seed phrase. If you lose your phone and have no recovery codes, you will lock yourself out of your own account. Now next up is layer 6, the transaction layer. How you actually move and interact with crypto matters for both security and privacy. This is the action plan. Before you sign anything, you gotta read what you're approving. Wallet drainers work by getting you to sign a malicious transaction that gives them permission to move your tokens. You can use Rabi, or if you are using some blockchain which is not supported by Rabi, I would say go ahead and install the browser extension Kerberos, previously known as Fire. You install it and you will immediately get protected from scams, phishing, and hacks. Over 250,000 users have been using this extension for the past 3 years, and there has been 0 losses recorded. Terrific tool, go ahead, add it to your browser, you'll thank me later. You also should revoke old token approvals regularly. You can use revoke.cash to check and clean up what contracts have permission to spend your tokens. For example, that random NFT mint you did 8 months ago might still have unlimited access to all your USDC holdings. You must revoke that ASAP. Transaction privacy basics are as follows. Understand that most blockchains are pseudonymous, not anonymous. Every transaction on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and most chains is publicly visible forever. If your identity is linked to one address, through an exchange, an ENS name, a public post, every transaction that address has ever made is now linked to you. Do not also publicly share wallet addresses that you also use for private activity. Have a public-facing address and a separate private one. Also be aware that chain analytics companies exist and are actually actively mapping the blockchain. Act accordingly. Now this is the last one, layer 7, the social engineering layer. This is the biggest attack vector and it isn't technical. It's really it's human psychology. Rules to internalize. Nobody legitimate will ever DM you first to help with the wallet issue. Not on Discord, not on Telegram, not on Twitter, nobody ever. It's always a scam. And they prey on people who ask questions on public groups, and they will say, oh, I'm the person that management sent to help you with your situation, with your case. Stay away from those. It's going to be a scammer, guys. Block and report straight up. Also, nobody is giving away free crypto and just needs you to connect your wallet. Come on, stop believing that. Another important rule is if it feels urgent, slow down. Scammers manufacture urgency. It's called FOMO for a reason. It looks and sounds something like this: claim in the next 10 minutes, or your funds are at risk, act now. Real security issues do not arrive via DM with a time limit. Another rule is do not talk publicly about how much crypto you hold. Not on Twitter, not on YouTube, not at dinner parties. You are painting a target on yourself. I believe in the near future, we will all see a growing wave of crypto theft. So thieves, criminals, they will all target crypto users. This is something which is already happening, don't get me wrong, but we will see the frequency and the number of criminals as well to go up, I believe. Criminals will actually become more aware of the value in crypto and they will target crypto users. So this is extremely important to do. Even if you are not holding millions of dollars, there is still basic security rules you got to apply and follow because crypto is the future. And if you want to use blockchain technology for self-custody of your digital asset, you gotta pay attention to this and take this seriously. Next rule is verify links independently. If someone sends you a link, do not click it. Go find the real site yourself. Type it, use your bookmarks, open a separate tab, take the extra 10 seconds. And finally, airdrop phishing is rampant. Random tokens appearing in your wallet that you didn't buy. Don't interact with them, don't try to sell them. Some are designed to drain your wallet the moment you approve a transaction to interact with the contract. Alright guys, this is a quick breakdown. I hope it is beginner friendly enough. There's definitely more. We'll dive deeper in later videos, especially about keeping yourself anonymous with your crypto. But remember, security isn't a product you buy, it's a set of habits you build. None of this is complicated, most of it is free. All of it is worth doing. What I showed you in this video is more than enough for anyone to get started. I'm working on a guide to help you put this into practice, go from zero into having a whole crypto OpSec system into place. You can set up, maintain it casually, and you'll be ahead of the vast majority of people in this space. But the important message I want you to take from this one is you don't need to be paranoid, you just need to be deliberate. Apply these basic OpSec layers and you should be better than you were yesterday. That being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video guys. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.